right, so podcast number 5, Brewer Talks, brought to you from Petainer. We are actually in Nuremberg, Germany at Brau 2019, land of beer heaven. I'm a happy man. We've covered so far kombucha, wine, coffee, kegging, and I've got a special guest with us today. You want to introduce yourself to our fans?
Hi, everybody. Mathieu Raphat, Sales Director for Petainer Asia, based in Bangkok, Thailand.
I'm jealous.
That's all right. There is worse place in the world. I'm looking after the operations of Petainer in Asia. So Petainer in Asia is a bit of a big zone from Korea to Australia. Our main market is China, and it's also covering other countries such as Singapore, Japan, Vietnam, all very different type of markets at different level of maturity. And that's my daily routine, I would say.
Right on. I was lucky enough in my past, when I was building breweries, we had some factories in China. So I started going over there a few years ago, 3-4 years ago. And I drank a lot of snow, a lot of Harbin beer, which is, for the States, it's our Miller Light, Bud Light. And it works for when you're having hot pot and your mouth's on fire. But then I was lucky enough to be able to start going to Great Leap Brewing, like a awesome craft beer mecca for me. Get a cheeseburger, some beer with some hops. What have you seen changing in the Asian beer market with your experience now that you're taking care of that for Petainer?
Well, I think I came on board a little bit after you came to China first.
Okay.
So when I arrived, I noticed that the craft beer scene, market, industry was already quite advanced. And we actually had some plans already for a few years thinking about how to approach the Chinese market.
All right.
The first thing that we learned is that we expected most of the market to be located in northeast China, to the coast, where you have big cities, famous big cities.
Yeah, that's where I was hanging out.
And that's where we're going to start production in a couple of weeks. Like, it's starting right now, literally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the thing is, the volume is here. We definitely made the right choice with that location, but what we've learned is that where the biggest logistic issues are actually happening, this is where Chinese craft brewers need one-way kegs. So the biggest logistics issues are actually south of a line that goes roughly from Shanghai to Chengdu, which is really from the east coast to the west, Midwest or central China. And south of that line, we actually have most of our customers at the moment. So it's telling us that craft beer is not only an expat East Coast phenomenon, but it's a Chinese middle class from those huge cities that are everywhere in central China. I'm talking Xi'an, Chengdu, Wuhan, Changsha, and other cities in the Yunnan area, Guangxi, where people get more and more into craft beer. They have more available income, and they need the beer to be brought to them. China is big, so you need one-way solutions. And that's where our market is at the moment.
Right on. So our one-way keg is helping with logistics. Also, I know in the States we've got some small percentage of keg losses, through just kegs going bad and people not returning them. But I hear Asia is like a way higher number, like 7, 8, 9% on steel keg losses. Yep. So that's another advantage to be able to use a one-way. They don't have to worry about losing their cooperage. So that's awesome. So I know when I was first going over there, we did see some import from the States. Like Stone was coming over there. Have you seen anybody else besides, the typical German, Petainer, Hackeshore, Carlsberg and stuff like that? Have you seen an influx from any other region bringing their beer over to China or Southeast Asia, any place like that?
Yeah, I would say it's still an elite or higher middle class consumption pattern that we see. Craft beer is consumed by people who have money to do so. So that's something that is really for middle class and higher classes. But those people are actually having the same behavior, the same taste, more or less, or they follow the same trends, maybe a bit later
Okay.
than in the US or even in Europe. And by that, we actually also see some intra-Asian beers, I would say. Australia, New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
These are countries that actually have some of the highest production capacity per capita compared to the rest of the world. And those people love their beer and they know how to drink.
They sure do. There's a good reason to love that beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The issue is that there are not enough. There is not enough of them.
Okay.
So,
well, have me come over. I'll help you guys.
yeah, we have some solutions. And the governments are actually pushing those guys to export their beer.
Okay.
And Australia and New Zealand have a very pragmatic way to approach that, targeting China mostly, but also Japan and other countries that they didn't expect to be a recipient for their beer, which is Indonesia, Singapore, a little bit of Thailand, and where we actually see that we would be very useful to them. It's not only by providing them kegs, but it's also by having technical people in China or in Southeast Asia that can actually hold hands with the beer importers and show them how to pour the beer, how to use a one-way keg,
Sure.
how to store it,
Yeah.
how to keep it fresh over days. And that's what craft brewers are afraid of. They are driven by quality and
Right.
they want their beer to be served the way they have made it and they wanted it. So
Tastes the same way when it left there when it gets to the end user.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if it really makes them scared if they think that it's going to be spoiled by one guy that has not been trained enough. So that's
Right.
where we bring another side of the solution, where we want to have people who come from the brewing industry, come from breweries, have been brewing, filling kegs, but also dispensing kegs, working in the bar to show them how to man that keg.
That's great.
It's not complicated, but if no one shows you, it's like anything else, you might not make it work properly.
Sure.
So that's another part of the solution we are bringing. The keg and the guy who can train your guys on how to dispense the beer.
That's awesome. Yeah. Not only do we help you get it into our keg, but we help you get it out of the keg to make everybody happy, from the brewer to the restaurant, to the bar, and to the guy drinking out of the glass. I think that's awesome. That's really important. So what I'm a huge fan with Petainer is that we have manufacturing set up throughout the world. So not only we, recycle materials, sustainability, but we're cutting down on logistics to get the product closer to our customers. So we're not, we're as efficient as possible, cutting down on emissions, all that good stuff. Don't you have production coming around the corner here for you?
Yeah.
Getting closer to your back door?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm lucky to have very soon, a couple of days, more or less, kegs manufactured in China.
Nice.
And that's the first step in China. We're not going to stop there. We're going to get kegs closer to the brewers. And they are everywhere, so that's my headache. That's for me to find a solution. We also have a production facility in Australia, which is a partnership with a very strong local company that has brought their own logistics network in Australia.
Nice.
And from Australia, from the state of Victoria, we are able to distribute kegs in Australia mostly, New Zealand, Pacific Islands. So that's what we are playing with at the moment. And our plans are obviously to, as I said, always bring the solution closer to the brewers. And I would say, if I would have to give my own guess today, it would be probably the south of China, where we would invest first, and maybe somewhere in Southeast Asia. But we are talking about a bit more medium-term investments for Southeast Asia.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. I love hearing that news. I'm all pumped up at Brau Bevial. We got 30-liter hybrids behind us. We got the Asian market killing it, blowing up. That's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by and being our special guest today on the 5th episode of Brewer Talks. Thanks for spending your time with us, drinking a beer. Let's go get some more beers, deal? Yeah, you need some more. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, guys. Keep following us on podcasts on your iPhones, your Droids, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all that stuff. We love hearing from you. We love your feedback, and keep listening. Salud. Or what is it? What do they say in China?
Kanpei.
Kanpei.